everybody, welcome back to my studio. This is Emma sitting comfortably in my swivelly chair, which I have to say, I just sit on it and spin around just for the fun of it. And sometimes when my friend Steph comes round and we do some drawing together, she kind of patrols herself around the room with it. It's just great. You can paddle yourself around. Who knew you could have so much fun? Yes, so I don't know what I'm talking about today at all, except that I'm going to show you how I've done some free machining and get my teeth in right. Free machine embroidery this week on my beautiful rainbow. I call it a rainbow. Do you know, I've called it a rainbow because it looks like a rainbow. It's actually a sunset, and I'm not going to be able to show you the finished result, but I will show you how I've got on with it basically, and how I've done the free machining and my final choice of colours. I can't show you it finished because it's got to go to the new owner of it before I do that. I need to have her okay that I can do that for you. You'll get to see roughly what I've done anyway, so that's quite good. And I'm really pleased with it. I'm very pleased for two reasons. One is I started it, which is the first step in doing anything creative, is you have to start it. So many times, you know, you kind of put off because you'll just say, oh well, I'll just go and do the dishes, or I'll just do this chore first before I give myself the time, you know. And I just find I've learned to overcome that, but I still find myself doing it sometimes. So I've just finished doing the washing up and the tidying up in the kitchen this morning in my house, which is up there, up the garden. And I just thought, well, I do like to come back in at lunchtime to a nice clean and tidy kitchen, because we're all at home at the moment. You know, it does get messier than normal when people are at work or school or whatever. So that was my bit of procrastination. But I do like to go, as I say, go back in and I find it all clean and tidy. That's quite nice. But it is a kind of putting off job. It's a putting off while I think about what am I going to do, because it is a bit scary sometimes. And even starting back into something that you've got half finished, it's about just getting over that edge. It's like the rim of a teacup. It's getting over the edge and just launching yourself into it. And I find if you just sneak around the sides of it and you just start playing gradually, you'll start to get the juices flowing and you'll stop thinking about it so much and you'll just be doing it. I think that's really helpful. Sometimes when my daughter was smaller and I wasn't feeling particularly creative, I would watch what she was doing and I would get inspired, and it was almost like by watching somebody else. So hopefully maybe you watching my video has that same effect. And even if you're not a stitcher, even if you're not somebody who's using textiles, doesn't matter, whatever you're doing with it, something creative, then, you know, it's just getting started and then it can flow. I love it. Love it. So I've basically taken this gorgeous basket of fabrics with all sorts of clashing colours, and you'll be able to see the result. I have to say, thank you so much for watching. I'm now about to take 2 weeks off because it's time for some downtime. Normally I take like the whole of August off and I don't do workshops and I just don't do anything creative, because I feel it's important that I have time where I just do the house and the garden and my family and nothing too creative. I might even mend my husband's jeans that have been sitting in a pile over there for a week or two, or possibly a month or two. Sometimes it's years. Sometimes things like that sit in here for years before I get around to doing them. But so anyway, as I say, I'm going to take 2 weeks off, so I will be back at the beginning of September. Watch out for me then, and hopefully I'll be able to show you the finished results of this as well. I think, as I say, it's important that I have that downtime. And then I'll come back afresh in September. I've got all sorts of exciting things planned, kind of, but we will see. As I will say, we'll see what shows up, because I do work on intuition, I do work on inspiration, and I do work just by starting off and seeing what comes. But you have to make that first step. So enough of this, zip. And I will get on and show you some stuff, and I will look forward very much to seeing you in September. Thank you so much for all your support, all your comments and questions. I love it. I love if I can help you in any way. Please let me know if it's technical or if it's, you know, something to do with machines or fabrics. Then I'm absolutely delighted to answer your questions. And if watching my videos helps you in any way at all, then that is absolutely joyful for me. I sit here and I talk and I show stuff, and I just love it that I'm showing it to people around the world. So thanks again. I will see you in September. Have a really good end of summer, whatever you're doing in August. Bye for now. Oh, watch the video. That's so me. Okay, so that was a bit of fun embellishing there towards the end of my last video. I really had a nice time doing that. This is the samples that I showed you, so that's the little mini version that I was playing around with, looking at how exactly it was going to come together. So these are very much just a first attempt at getting some colours together. And then the piece that I actually embellished last week was this one here. So this is a much bigger version. You can see by the size of the difference in the frames. It's going to be about, I think this is 8 by 6 or something like that inches. So I'm just looking at where I did quite well actually. I actually managed to make that look fairly similar to that. But this bottom half is the bit I need to work on next. I need to just work out exactly what's going where and what colours and what shades, what colours I want to be bringing sort of down from there that are reflecting in the water down here. And then we will be able to get onto some free machine embroidery, which is the bit I'm really looking forward to. So this is lovely. The beauty of the embellishing machine, okay, I know not everybody has one, and nor can they get one. I understand in America and places it's actually quite difficult to get hold of ones that are wired correctly and so forth. You can of course just do this with your fabric, and just do lots of free machine embroidery. The thing is, I'm using quite small pieces, so actually to hold those and pin them in place while you stitch can be a little bit of a fiddle. I guess you could use Bondaweb or something like that to put them on too, but the thing is, when they're quite fine as well, like the organzas, the embellisher does quite a nice job. It just really blends them. I think that's the beauty of it. It blends colours and it holds things in place while you're wanting to stitch, which is just phenomenal. I just love it. But I appreciate not everybody has one, not everybody wants one, and you could just do this with, as I say, just with your fabrics quite nicely. I mean, you could be hand stitching, you could be doing this, pinning them on and just hand stitching them. You could tack them in place. There's lots of things, lots of options. So I'm going to get my fabrics out going again next and just have a little play and see what colours I actually want to put down here. I think I might do that off camera because I have to be honest, I'm not very awake today. I don't know, my brain seems to be a bit asleep. I think it's being rewired or something at the moment. I think it's the new moon energy. I did a whole load of clearing out at the weekend and I think that's kind of left me in a bit of a sort of a strange place. So anyway, let's get on with some colours and then we can do some free machine embroidery, which is always the nice fun bit. This is a really delicate operation because these are very fine pieces of fabric and I've got to try and keep them in lines. So I've got them pinned and I'm just going to stitch them very gently and slowly with my nylon thread. And I'm trying to get the feeling of the ripples, but this is really good. I'm quite pleased with this. It's kind of... it's worked. I thought if I used normal thread on a colourful thread, I would lose this delicate shimmering shades of the little organza pieces that I put on. So it's quite the most fiddly thing I've done for a while, which is quite a nice challenge. And I think it's coming quite nicely. So you can kind of see it's starting to hold it in place, which is great. And I really like the way, because the stitching makes some bits stick up more than others. So where you don't stitch, it just allows the fabric to sort of push up a little bit underneath. So you're getting a really nice sort of ripply effect. You're getting like a 3D quality to it, which I really quite like. And I have to say, this is one of the scariest things I've done for a while, but I just am really appreciating it now. I think it's coming together quite nicely. By doing it slowly and just taking my time, it's coming together and it's going to work. I'm sure it's going to work when I get it all together. Actually, I thought I'd just share with you my hot tip for sewing with like nylon threads or some of these shiny threads. If your threads are snapping, okay, I know sometimes if you buy really good quality ones, they really don't snap, but these are reasonable. These are like Madeira. I think that's Madeira. Anyway, they're reasonable quality ones. But what I do is, first of all, I lower my top tension a little bit, sometimes a little bit more than normal, but not so much that it starts looping, okay. And the other thing I do is I've actually got the thread, and you can see this is my lovely mug. which hides behind my sewing machine, and I really love it. And inside I put my reel of thread, okay? So that goes behind my machine, and I thread it up almost as normal. So the bit coming down here is threaded up as normal, but I loop my, I'll try and show you this later, is I loop the actual thread goes round the top spool holder. It just goes, lurks around there and then goes down into the cup, and I find that that allows the thread can then just run freely. There's nothing holding it in place. So that's my top tip. If your nylon threads or rayon threads or whatever they are sort of keep snapping, lower your tension and put the spool in a cup. There you go, you heard it here first. Okay, so I'm going to start building up the colour on this part now. You can see the lovely colours. Ooh, hang on, get it in the right place for you. So you can see the lovely colours there. So I've just chosen a sort of a general bobbin thread to go underneath. I usually try and match it up roughly with what I'm sewing in case it pulls up through to the top, and I don't want that to happen necessarily. Sometimes I do, actually, sometimes it's quite nice. So I choose a sort of a general thread. That'll be okay. I don't think I need to worry too much about this bit down here. If a bit comes through, it'll just look like the sunset. So I'll pop that in the bottom now, and then I will do some nice free machine embroidery. This bit will be easier, I think, because that's now all held in place because I've embellished it down, so it's held in place. Much easier than doing it down here. Okay, so this is my thread I'm going to use now. It's a bright pink, it's a polyester, I think, is it? Oh, viscose, sorry. So again, I've threaded it up at this end. And you can see this end. I'll just wave at this end. This is the pointy end where the needle is. So I've brought it along here, and I'm just going to wrap it. Just going to put the thread so it goes around there, and that just holds it. It's a little bit of tension, but not much. And then I drop that down behind there. There you go. Hear the sound? It's now in my cup. There you go. Very technical. Okay, so I've changed threads. I've got this nice pale orangey sort of colour. I haven't got a shiny one, unfortunately, for this, because this shiny one is a bit too yellowy. I've found in the past it's a bit too yellowy, so I'm just using actually, is it that one? Something like, anyway, I'm using this one. I think it's not a shiny one, but it just has a better tone for this. I just want this to look basically that colour. But what I will be doing is I will be blending the threads. So I'll bring this, I don't know if you can see that. I bring the different shades, different tones into each other. So the pink I will bleed out a little bit onto the yellowy colour, orangey yellowy colour, and the pink and the yellowy colour go into the red, and the purple goes into the green. So you don't have harsh edges, okay? It gives you nice colour bleeding. Colour bleeding, is that a word? Colour blending. Colour blending. And I stitch right to the edge, even though I know the frame is going to come to about here. I make sure that there's enough up here to go behind the frame. And this is such a nice relaxed part to do. It really is. It's just like, I've done all the hard work, I've done all the thinking, I've done all the fiddling a bit down in the watery bit, and now this is just really nice. So there we are. I think I'm just about done with this now. I've got some lovely colour blending going on down there, and I've been very brave and very bold. There's even a bit which I haven't stitched because I haven't got a colour that I want to put over that, because that's meant to be just a sort of a soft overlay of the organza. I've been quite bold with some of my colours, and I've really enjoyed doing that. It's been super to do. So I'm going to say really bye for now. I will show you this again in September. Hopefully it'll be all finished by then, and my friend will be having it on her wall, and that will be very satisfying. I've really enjoyed doing it. As I say, I've enjoyed the challenge. It's good to push ourselves sometimes, isn't it? You know, get out of your comfort zone and see what can come out of it. So bye for now. Thank you so much for watching. Have a lovely end of summer.
ba ba ba